With F45 adding this exercise, I wanted to try my most detailed breakdown on it yet, because that's 100,000 plus people now working on it. So this might help a few folks. All F45s have some form of riser. And the simplicity is that the higher this is, the easier it is. As you go lower, that's going to require more strength and flexibility. It's worth noting that all CrossFit gyms have bumper plates, and that could be used to mimic a riser system. And with no gym, a stairwell is a near perfect regression system because you not only have front foot elevation, but also assistance. I'm not trying to stand on a tightrope, nothing wrong with that, but about a hip width stance is going to give better balance. How long of a step can take some practice, so there's nothing wrong with moving around, wiggling that back foot till you're in a position that feels good, then beginning your set. And it's worth knowing that the lower you go, the longer stance it's going to take. If the back heel goes in, that's an avoidance of the hip flexors. Nothing wrong with working the groin, but that's a different exercise. We want the back heel straight or even to the outside, which is going to keep that hip flexor stretch. I also want you to stay on those back toes throughout the rep rather than leaning back, which can throw off your rhythm. The way I coach the back knee is not to touch the floor. Nothing wrong with it touching the floor, but that gives us a measure of mobility. As you go higher, you'll see that the knee could be more bent. But even at my level, by contracting the glutes here, I can still get a nice stretch through this front side. I don't coach the torso too strictly. Main thing to look out for would be someone straining forward, which is not actually stretching more, or arching back. So you want to just elevate to a level that it feels good, that your torso feels natural. The real work is done from about here forward. So I don't want you to arbitrarily try to lock out at the top, which can throw off your balance. One thing to know is that the lower you go, the more range you're probably under tension. So here I can still get some tension, but if I elevate enough and go back that far, there's not going to be tension. I'm actually going to have to work in a lower position if I'm elevated. Ankle mobility can vary. So I'm not worried if that heel is lifting a bit, but if it felt unnatural to you, then yeah, I would want you to elevate more. In addition to going lower, you can also increase difficulty by loading. Dumbbells are my favorite simply because as you go closer to the ground, you can let go. So a barbell is fine, but gets proportionally risky as you go lower, whereas dumbbells actually get safer as you go lower. You can also turn an ATG split squat into an ATG lunge. Notice how when I came out of the lunge, I didn't cave my posture. I kept this knee strong, pushed through the back toes, boom, into the next step, pause, push through the back toes. An exercise regimen usually has some form of squat, but rarely controlling, pausing through a full range of motion. Usually we think of maximum weight part way or dropping and bouncing out of the bottom, both of which are fine. I just think of a foundation of being pain-free and owning your mobility on each side as a foundation for higher force activities. And in modern life, we do a lot of sitting and not a lot of sprinting. So with one exercise, we're able to help balance out some of that ability below modern sitting while balancing out some of that lost flexibility. Demand versus ability. Humans can't build infinite ability. Anyone could still get hurt, but I have a strong reality on this because I started with a very low amount of ability. I had to quit my sport. I was on drugs for my knees. I was told I needed more surgeries. I've now been over 10 years without a knee setback, and I never had to work through pain in the process. I slowly increased my ability. Now I could still get hurt, but I understand that I can control this factor better. My wife at 36 can skate better and more pain-free than she thought by having this in her regimen. My mom's been working on this 8 years. She's 71, moves better than she thought for 71. I've now used it with some of the richest athletes in the world. Once it clicks, it's simply a tool that could help the demands in your life become easier to handle.